Hello everyone, welcome to the Spooky Noodles Podcast. Today we will be covering the myth behind Bloody Mary. As a kid, I was always super interested in spirits and ghosts. I spent a lot of my free time using those silly little EMF apps to look for these ghosts. That was fun, but after doing it so often, it started to get a little bit boring. I wanted to go further, so I attempted to conjure Bloody Mary. Apparently, I overestimated my guts. I was able to say Bloody Mary only once after turning off the lights, before I ended up panicking and not following through with the ritual. Bloody Mary is one of the most well-known spirits in Western culture, but who is she? What does she want? And why does she exist? It isn't clear if Mary was a real person. However, there is a historical figure that is also referred to as Bloody Mary. There's no definitive proof that this is the person behind the spirit, but it is folklore, so it is kind of subjective. Mary Tudor, also known as Bloody Mary, or Mary I, was the Queen of England from 1553 until her death in 1558. I'm not an expert in 16th century history, so if you're interested in this topic, please check out the links in the description. Mary was a devout Catholic, and as usual for this time period, her religious extremism was on full display. Her father and brothers had paved the way for Protestantism in England. They ended up changing the church from primarily Catholic to primarily Protestant. However, her mother had raised her as a Catholic and she took really strongly to that religion. When she took the crown, Mary reversed the work her family had done and reverted England back to Catholicism. But she wasn't done yet. She originally claimed that she would allow for Protestantism to exist in England, but she quickly changed her mind. She brought back heresy laws. Using these laws, Mary executed 283 Protestants. These people were burnt at the stake for their beliefs. Even the Catholics of England were not a big fan of these policies. Luckily, Mary passed away relatively shortly into her reign. She was replaced by Queen Elizabeth, who reversed Mary's policies. Once again, Protestants took control. It is unknown if the spirit of Bloody Mary has a goal. I don't think there are really any notable theories as to why the spirit appears or what it wants. The ritual to summon her is generally the same, but some small details change based on who you ask. The summoning needs to take place in a room that has no windows, has a mirror, and has the ability to be completely pitch black. You will also need a candle and some way to light the candle. The game starts at midnight. Those are the aspects that are pretty consistent, but from here the details get a little iffy. Some say the ritual must be done alone, while some claim that it can be done within groups. Once you enter the room, you must turn off the lights and proceed to light the candle. After this, stare into the mirror and repeat her name. According to some, her name must be repeated 13 times, and according to others, it must be repeated 3 times. With this, Mary will appear in the mirror of the summoner. She tends to look like a bloodied Victorian-aged woman, but accounts of her appearance differ. Most people concur that she does like to scream though, so be prepared to plug your ears. If you stand too close to the mirror, she might attempt to attack you or even drag you into her world. To banish Mary, one must blow out the candle. Obviously, none of this is true. This ritual is similar to a Ouija board type situation. People are often convinced that something supernatural is going on, although it can all be explained with science. People who have actually seen Bloody Mary are often just hallucinating. The setting of the ritual causes the chance of strange hallucinations to increase thanks to the stress and conditions of it all. Bloody Mary is more likely a distorted reflection of one's visage rather than a malevolent spirit. The cultural impact of Bloody Mary has extended past just a simple ritual. Although it is not directly cited as an inspiration, it is pretty safe to say that the Candyman character was based on Bloody Mary. Candyman was a movie that was released in 1992. It follows the legend of a vengeful spirit, the Candyman. The Candyman appears when his name is spoken 5 times into a mirror. Not only has their legend inspired other pop culture characters, but also cocktails. The Bloody Mary is a bizarrely popular drink consisting of a ton of random ingredients like vodka, tomato juice, lemon juice, horseradish, and more. I'm not sure who invented it, but I really hope they got the help that they needed. I shouldn't knock it as I haven't tried it, but it sounds so foul that I will do just that. If you enjoyed that story, please consider sticking around for more. Next Sunday, we will be covering a different spirit from a different part of the world. These folk horror episodes definitely take the most time to create, which is funny because they're my favorite episode to make. I love learning all this useless information about urban legends. It is fun when I get to do the writing of the episode instead of reading stories authored by others. Our sources are linked in the show notes. If you've got any suggestions or tips for our future episodes, please contact us at our email spookynoodlespod@gmail.com or at our Twitter @spookynoodles. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. Make sure to keep your taste for horror alive by watching the next episode of Spooky Noodles on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or YouTube. Thank you for listening.